Gotham, you goofy motherfucker, go lay down. What's up, everybody? On today's episode of Inside the Pocket, we go over the NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs Game 1 between the Golden Knights and the Washington Capitals, some bounce-back NFL players, other NFL news, and we got some segments. Let's go.
Welcome to Inside the Pocket. I'm the host, Austin Robinson. With me, as always, is my brother, Gavin Robinson.
What up, guys?
This week, we're going to be hitting on quite a few subjects, and we're also going to be drinking some Schlafly Summer Lager. Oh, yeah, let's go. Brewed here in St. Louis, so we'll get more on that once we get into the beer review, brought to you by the Barrel Bar and Grill, 109 in O'Fallon.
Corner of Highway K and Highway N. 109 beers on tap, delicious food, and awesome people. So be sure and go check it out. How was your Memorial Day weekend? We hope everybody else had an amazing Memorial Day weekend. Ours, we kind of went to Mark Twain Lake, me and the girlfriend.
Yeah.
I came back a little early because I am just generally getting old and shitty from basic activities that I do from day to day.
I'm just looking at you, bud.
And I felt like a fucking train hit me and then fucking threw me on a cast iron skillet because I was burnt and could barely move. And so I was calling it a day, came back, chilled. Me and the girlfriend watched Star Wars Episode 8 on that Sunday, which was pretty nice.
Nice.
Really liked it. I'm like not a huge, so many people get so into their fucking movie reviews and they get so fucking nuts.
I just say it's good.
It's bad.
It's good. Yeah.
Or I was like, meh, it was okay. Now I've watched some movies where I was like, that movie was fucking terrible.
Oh yeah.
Like the movie Up is fucking terrible.
Whoa.
I don't care what people say.
Where is your heart?
Not in that movie because they're literally like, oh, cute couple, lady dies. Oh man, some annoying fucking kid, and then the whole movie just everything goes fucking wrong. I don't like the Meet the Focker movies either because not that much bad shit happens to people. Can't handle it. If that much bad shit
just
happens
because you have good luck, bud, doesn't mean you can say that people with shit luck, it just doesn't happen. You're just not used to it.
No, I don't believe in luck. I believe that if enough bad shit happens to you, it's because you're making some bad fucking decisions.
I don't know. I firmly believe in luck. I think I'm a fairly lucky person, like just in general.
But I think when people talk about luck, it's like you take the opportunities. I'm not saying there's not opportunities. Like, we're lucky in the sense that we were a couple fucking white men born.
Wow, okay.
That is lucky. I mean, we could easily have been born a black guy in the fucking slavery.
Yeah. I guess when you go by time period.
When you go by time periods, when you look at the life that we were just given, we didn't do anything to earn it. We could have been born some starving kid in a third world country, too.
Yeah, we could have been Stone Age.
We were born white males that get predominantly the best treatment of anybody in the world. Do you agree?
I agree, but you're really backing white privilege right now.
I'm not saying it's not a thing.
No, I agree it's a thing, but I like to say also, it's lucky.
I'm saying we were born as a person that generally gets the least amount of profiling of anybody else.
I agree.
Am I saying profiling's right? Am I saying that a lot of the fucking shit that people claim is profiling or stereotype happens because of it? Not necessarily. I think I'm covered in fucking tattoos and have a huge beard. When a cop pulls me over, they generally think I don't look like the best fucking guy. However, it kind of gets contradicted by the fact that I drive a nice car and I am articulate and conduct myself like very politely, but you have to strive to overcome the stereotypes that you might fall into, not just play into them.
So you're not saying that the profiling and the fact that you're white is necessarily a good thing. It just happened to be the cards you were dealt.
Exactly.
This is the thing you're getting in return for as that being your life.
Exactly. Now, okay. I'm not saying that, there's plenty of black people that have done amazing things.
Absolutely.
And so, I don't necessarily believe in luck. I believe in people possessing the ability to play the cards that they were given. I mean, we talked about that at one point. A guy that has a fucking too jack off suited could beat a guy with pocket aces if he plays his fucking cards right.
Yeah.
It comes down to playing the situation that you're dealt in the correct way and making the most of opportunities. We have a dad who fucking grinded his fucking ass off to get us out of a bad situation that he found himself in with his marriage, and he also happened to be fucking one of the most well-renowned floor layers in the area, so we had a job that we could just walk into. However, we have made the most of that opportunity, you being one of the first apprentices to be a certified installer in many different things, and you grind your ass off, me being currently the youngest foreman and doing everything that I can, running some very large scale jobs and having a lot of success early on in our career. And there's going to be a lot of people that think, oh, they're just riding their dad's coattails, and they can think what they want, but those are the people that probably wouldn't take the opportunities if they were presented to them. And so I'm saying, basically, I don't necessarily believe in luck or bad luck. I'm not saying that there aren't things that you're like, oh, that could have been a lot worse. Right. But I feel like, in general, the state of somebody's life is determined a lot by the choices they make rather than just luck.
Yeah, do you agree with that? I agree with that, but you can't say that there's no such thing as luck. Like, winning the lottery is lucky. That's not based off of a main decision you made. Your decision was to buy a lottery ticket. Maybe you'll win, and you happen to win. That's luck.
You could have just not bought the lottery ticket.
Yeah, but somebody would, and they would be the lucky one out of all the people who bought it to win it. They have the luck of the draw. Just like what we said with the 2 and the jack and the pair of serendipity. Oh God, no. Anywho, let's get back and let me tell you about my Memorial Day weekend. Okay. Since we just went off on that weird tangent on luck not existing or it existing, what I did was I watched your fucking dogs.
Goddamn right you did.
Friday night I got here, watched your dogs, I left. Then I went out with my buddy.
You actually watched one of my dogs.
Yeah. Well, my dog was also here. So I went out with my buddy and one of his friends who happened to be a female. Night goes on. We get drinking. They don't want to go home. They're not sure they want to, they don't want to go home yet. They're still ready to party. I was like, well, fuck it. I live like 2 minutes.
Poor decision makers. They probably have bad luck.
Yeah, probably. Timmy had some bad luck. Anywho, so I say, well, fuck it. You guys can come back to my house. We'll hang out for a little bit, and then you motherfuckers got to go. So we went to my house. We played some beer pong. Completely shit on them, as usual. And then Timmy passed out on the couch, and I didn't know what to do because his female friend, was still there. And her and I just stood up till about 7:30 a.m.
And had sex on his unconscious body.
No, none of that occurred.
That'd be a lot better story.
It would be a better story, but that didn't happen. So
Can we say it happened?
Sure. I had sex with her on top of my friend's lifeless body on my couch. And then I sent her home, and I went to bed for about 45 minutes. Woke up. Timmy's gone. The table's put up. All the beer pong cups are put away. The ping pong balls are sitting on my table, so
I would have left. Tim. I would have left once I found out you had sex with my girl on my conscious body.
Well, that didn't... Okay, that totally didn't happen. Okay. So I then go to your house and watch the dog for the rest of the day, just relaxing on the couch, yada yada. You come home, we talk for a little bit, I leave. I have a volleyball tournament the next day. I get burnt to shit. I win quite a few games. Then we grilled, had a fun time, met a bunch of people from back in high school. Then after that, Monday came, and I just hung out. And then the big part that I wanted to get to is that Tuesday is in my opinion, one of the worst days of the year. The Tuesday after Memorial Day weekend, because I went to work, and I was the most sluggish, slowest piece of shit I've ever been in my entire life.
Some would say that's not much different than most Tuesdays.
True, but this one was even worse.
Oh, God.
I got there. They told me what to do. I started doing my stuff. I was hating my life. Literally thought about just cutting my wrists. And then I went home. Got home at about 4:30-ish. And did not wake up until the next morning at 6:35.
Yeah, because I was literally trying to text you and message you about a killer fucking computer deal.
Yeah.
And some other stuff. And I'm like, and Nicole was like, oh, you're going off on him. I was like, yeah, I was at the store earlier trying to be a nice guy and buy you some coffee creamer, and you're not answering the phone so I can pick it out. And then she calls me back and I get it. Then I message you and try to call you and you're not answering. And I was like, I guess everybody's just not going to talk to me today.
No, I was in...
Decisions need to be made.
I was in a coma, and I don't even know what caused it, because, like, it's not like I was sleep deprived. There was the one day where I stayed up till 7:45 and did that, but the next day I slept fine. But for some reason on Tuesday, when I got home and hit that bed just for a second, I didn't wake up, so the next morning I had to go to work.
Just fucking out.
I was out. I was dead.
You feel better today?
Yeah, I feel fine today.
I felt great today, too.
Yeah, I felt like a new man. I did 4 times the amount of work today that I did yesterday.
Yeah, we had a pretty good day, too. We actually left at about noon today because we got caught up with the people that we were waiting on. Typical thing. Need you guys to work some overtime. Well, what do you want me to do? Oh, we don't have anything for you to do.
Oh.
Well, I guess I'm going home. So, that's kind of how our weekend went. We're going to go ahead and jump right into some of the NFL stuff. We're both itching for the NFL season to start. It's getting closer and closer.
97 days away?
I think you're right, because I was reading an article the other day, and they said it was 100 days away from the opening game. Eagles versus Falcons.
Yeah.
Ready to send these fucking Philly boys are going to be riding that high, and the Falcons are just going to say, not today, cuzzos. Not today. Let's send that shit back to Minnesota. Ain't happening here. But, one thing that I was going to cover was I was looking some stuff up, and it actually started, I was just reading an article on Andrew Luck and some of his
Here we go.
progress, but it led me to think about, there was actually quite a few big injuries last year that I'm excited to see people bounce back from, and I kind of wrote some of them out and wanted to kind of get your opinions on some of them. The first one I have on here was Andrew Luck, and some of the questions that they were saying the big questions will be for him is, so I know you follow it a lot closely being a Colts fan, do you think he really will be ready to play in serious game time situations come the start of the season?
I believe he will not participate in any of the preseason, but he will start week 1 of regular season.
You think week 1 regular season he's taking the start?
Yes. I don't think you'll see any deep balls from him. I think if it comes down to a situation where it's like 3rd and like 15 or anything, they're probably just going to do like a run play and kick the ball just to keep the health of him intact.
Even if it might be some more riskier plays and stuff like that, they're going to play for the integrity of Andrew's health over the points.
For a while. I believe I'd say at least the first 4 games they'll play like that, just to make sure he's getting back in the rhythm, seeing that he's doing everything. They don't want him to do a hold my dick pass his first game coming back in.
Now, do you think he will? That's my other question. Do you think he will get back to that where he can perform? One of the reasons that the Colts picked him up the way they did was a lot of people saw him kind of as a young Peyton Manning coming back up, so the Colts could really keep their style of play that they hold dear to them. Do you think he's going to be able to return to what he was before this injury?
I believe he will, because it's more of a mental game than it is a physical game, because if you look at a lot of Peyton Manning stuff, most of his passes actually that turned out to be big plays were actually normally 25 to 35 yard passes that just happened to hit open creases, or players outside like Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne were able to get open after the catch. So
he needs his wide receivers to step up. He can get them the ball, but they're the ones that are going to need to make the plays.
I don't think you're ever going to see him do the Hail Mary passes like what Aaron Rodgers does, throwing a ball 75, 65 yards for a game winner. I don't think you're going to see that out of Luck, but him throwing a ball 35, 40 yards, I can definitely see him doing that relatively early in the season.
Okay, another big quarterback that's coming back is Carson Wentz. I heard he was playing with his knee brace on. He's getting a little used to it. He hasn't been cleared for full team drills, but he's doing a lot of stuff on the sidelines and stuff like that. Do you think he will still be able to provide that explosive team scoring that the Eagles were kind of able to take advantage of? Or do you think things will kind of start slow, similar to how it'll be with Andrew? I mean, he has a leg injury compared to Andrew's shoulder. Wentz was even a little bit mobile
Well, Luck was mobile too, but I definitely think that almost nothing will change with the Eagles. I believe when Carson Wentz comes back in,
it'll be like he never left.
Yeah, I think it'll be like he never left. Maybe give it 2 weeks. In week 1 or 2, he's probably going to be a little hesitant on his scrambles and be more of a drop like quarterback. If he gets rushed, he's probably going to go to the ground, something you see Brady do now. And what Brady did after he blew his knee out the next season, his first few games, he was very shyish in the pocket if it started to collapse. You might see the same thing out of Carson Wentz for a little while, but his nature of play, he'll get back at it.
I kind of hope to expect like Carson Wentz, just his first game back, they just say, we're just fucking, I don't care where we're at, we're going for this, and him just fucking airborne send that bitch.
Oh, well,
just to say welcome back. Because it's not like he had an upper body injury.
Right.
I mean, he can still throw the ball.
You still got to be able to have your
He's just got to be careful moving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Michael Vick made a great recovery, and he was one of the most mobile quarterbacks of all time.
And with how it works today, I mean, any type of injury, anybody can really come back from at this point.
Yeah, you just definitely have to be careful because injuries like what he had could easily happen again. And I'm not going to have a lot of the big names on here like ODB, David Johnson, stuff like that. Kind of, Carson Wentz and Luck are both definitely big names, but I'm covering some of the other ones that don't get talked about as much. But Allen Robinson on the Bears now this year.
Yeah, from the Jaguars.
Looked like he was ready to take off back in 2015. In 2016, he had a little dip again, and then 2017, he was cut short. Do you think with a quarterback like Trubisky, he has the ability to really shine over in Chicago?
The only reason I think he won't have much to shine for is because the only other person on that offense that's worth anything is the running back. They don't have any other receivers that
They picked
really
up Taylor Gabriel.
I still don't think it's enough to make Allen Robinson a superstar. He'll be a beneficial favor, but I think he's going to be, instead of being the number one, he's going to be splitting it with Gabriel. It's not going to be Allen Robinson's our go-to on.
And I think Allen Robinson would be more of a number one wide receiver. Gabriel is definitely more of a speedster deep threat.
Right.
But also, we haven't, in the past couple of years, we haven't really got to see what Allen Robinson can do. And that's kind of why I'm looking at this list, too. We saw Carson Wentz come off strong in his season. It's been a few seasons since we've gotten to see Andrew really do anything. And Allen Robinson, we saw a glimpse of what he could do in 15, but it's been a couple seasons, based on what we've seen, I definitely think he's a potential for a player that we could say, holy shit.
Oh, he's got potential. I'm not putting him down by any means, but when you look at the Bears, you got Tyler Gabriel coming in. He's going to have to learn the playbook. You got Allen Robinson coming in. He's going to have to learn the playbook. You got Michael Trubisky, who came off his rookie year last year. He did pretty well for being a Bears player, but for all of them, the best thing that could happen is all three of them learn together, and then they do well together. If not, and it becomes more of a competition of Allen saying, well, I should be getting the ball, and then Taylor Gabriel being like, well, I want to be the speed guy. If it gets too, I'm trying to think of it like a player passionate, I could see them falling apart.
If all the receivers play their roles, though, do you think Trubisky has the ability to do for them what they need to do? You can have an all-star, kind of like what you dealt with when who was it last year? Their quarterback went down, and he was leading their team in the receptions and was just shining.
What team?
I can't even remember. And then once the backup quarterback came, they just stopped targeting him. Was it Will Fuller for Houston?
Oh, yeah. Will Fuller. In the first 3 games, he had 7 touchdowns from John Watson. He went down in week 4 with the ACL tear during practice, and then when the backup came in, he only had 2 more touchdowns for the rest of the season.
And that's what I mean. Do you think Trubisky is going to have the ability to use Allen the way he needs to, or would it be one of those things where, like, if Allen was on a team with a quarterback with a little bit more, which Trubisky's young too. I mean, he's
that's
another player that could
if they all learn together and do things together since they're young and all learning the playbook essentially at the same time, they could blossom and be amazing. But if it becomes, like I said, player passionate and you only care about yourself, which kind of now in the NFL, that's more or less what it is.
A lot of players are like that, and I think that's one reason that unfortunately the team that they are, the Patriots, have done so well, because you have tons of players that I don't give a fuck if you just rushed for 200 yards. The fucking team isn't performing well as a team. And so you definitely want to see teams themselves doing well.
Talking about player passionate people, I want to bring up Dez Bryant.
Okay.
I think he's a superstar. I think Des Bryant is a great guy. I think he's a great football player. I think he was mistargeted a lot in the last couple seasons down there in Dallas. But word came out that Des actually has his eyes set on a team in the 49ers.
Are the 49ers interested?
They haven't come out and said anything. What happened was Des Bryant got a contract deal from the Ravens for 3 years, $21 million. Des Bryant rejected it. Everybody was confused why he rejected it, thinking maybe another team had shown interest in talking to him. Then somebody on Instagram commented on one of his photos and said, "Who are you going to play for?" And he replied, "The 49ers." It was then screenshotted, and he later deleted the message that he had posted saying the 49ers, but so many people took that screenshot after he posted it and just shared the shit out of it.
Yeah.
So everybody on the internet where you can't delete anything, he came out and said he wants to play for the 49ers. So now they're just waiting on the 49ers to make a move.
It seems like the type of people that are going to be playing on the 49ers, it just feels like a lot of the type of attitude players that we saw on the Seahawks a couple years ago are just going to be on the 49ers.
Yeah.
It's just going to be weird because I feel like they have one of the ugliest fucking uniforms in the league, and it just
Whoa,
I don't like to
you're
look at
hurting
them.
a lot of nostalgia people right now.
I mean, I know they're a nostalgic team, and they're actually rolling out this year a throwback jersey set.
Oh, good.
And I actually like that compared to some of their more modern stuff.
They're not that much different.
But I don't know, just the little bit of change that it has on there, I think, is a lot more appealing. Not that it really fucking matters what they're wearing, but sometimes you do kind of develop, like, the attitude of the team behind the team, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got a couple more people on my comebacks.
Oh, sorry, I thought you...
Oh, no, you're totally fine. Motherfucker. Greg Olsen for the Panthers.
Yeah?
If he's healthy... He's just one of those players that defenses seem to fear. In 2016, he dropped only 2 out of 82 catchable passes that he was targeted for, while averaging 2 yards per route ran. He was also the number 4 ranked tight end among tight ends in the NFL. He gives that extra dynamic. He's kind of a weapon out there that people are afraid of. And, you know, with him being out there, it definitely opens up the run for Cam. Another target that's out there that can be deadly, just spreads the field a little bit more for Cam. Do you think Greg Olsen is going to have a pretty good season this year? Do you think with him getting up there a little bit in age, do you think he's just going to kind of be that player that, you know, makes some plays, but there's not going to be any big noise about him?
Greg Olsen's a superstar, and he always will be. The only reason he had downsides is because he got hurt. I don't think he's injury prone. I think he gets hurt very, very little. I believe this is the first time he actually got out for a season for an injury. And he's my boy. I pick him up on fantasy drafts every year, just about. I think he's a great player.
That's kind of why I'm asking him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to set my shit up, you know.
Oh, you're thinking about you're going to have a real rough time getting him before me. But Greg Olsen, I think, is a fantastic tight end. I'd actually put him in the top 5 tight ends in the NFL. Definitely one of my favorite players as people as well. If you look on his Instagram or see him in interviews or anything like that, he's just a generally cool guy. And he's just very calm, relaxed, and just a good guy and a great player. And he's got stats and he's got numbers. And his years never really declined until he got hurt and missed games. So, no, I don't think he's going to have a slow season. I think he's going to come back up there and he's going to be a top 5 tight end in the NFL.
Cool. Speaking of 49ers, like you were earlier, my last person I got on this list is Richard Sherman, who is also on the 49ers this year. So not only is he coming back from injury, he's on a new team. He's now 30 years old. Is he still the same player, do you think? He's had a pass rating of only 53% when being thrown to him since he's entered the league. Do you think he's still going to be able to maintain those numbers, or do you think this will be a year where he starts to decline a little bit?
He's going to decline heavily.
Heavily? You think
I believe it's going to be extreme how far less he's going to be. I bet you he has a great start to the season. Like, between week 1 and 5, he does good. And then after that, you won't hear his name for the rest of the year. I think it's going to be just such... He's the new name on the defense. The quarterbacks are going to be testing him. And then once he gets like 2 or 3 picks early on, people are like, oh, don't throw to Sherman. And then he's going to start making his mistakes. And people are going to learn that the safeties over top really aren't suited for him being a corner on his guarding schemes. And you're going to start to find the picking points on Sherman since he's really the only name in the defense right now. And think he'll fall apart. I don't think the defense that he's on now is nearly as intelligent or skilled as the defense he was once on, thus giving him the opportunities to get to a ball, because you had Earl Thomas over back on the safety. You had, I can't think of his name. It starts with a B in the middle linebacker spot. Bobby Wagner, that's what it was. That was the name. Yeah, he's not going to have those players to defend him like he had Bobby Wagner. If somebody cut short, Bobby was there. If somebody cut him high, Earl Thomas was there, and he's not going to have those people anymore.
Do you think it'll be one of those things where they can just kind of throw around him for the most part and pick the rest of the team apart, and then when they do throw it to him, it's just going to be one of those things like, holy fuck, they actually threw it to me, and he's just not going to be ready?
Yeah, probably. And like I said at the beginning of the year, I think they're going to test him since he's on a new team, and that's when I think he'll actually do well, is when they test him at first and give him a lot of balls to go for.
Yeah.
But once they narrow it down and then they start picking apart the team, he's going to get frustrated, and I think that's what's going to be his demise.
I got you. I do touch a little bit on ODB. He's been running, jumping, doing workouts, and even catching passes under the close watch of his trainers. Apparently, he's been looking good running and working out at OTAs. He will participate in... Not he will. I'm asking, will he participate in drills, scrimmages, or preseason games if he doesn't get the new contract that he wants by the time he's cleared to play again?
I think he will, since he's going to all the OTAs. I think he's trying to put in that little extra bit of effort to say, hey, I deserve this contract. And I think that's going to enforce him to actually play.
I got you. I know he's like one of the last remaining big wide receivers that haven't gotten their big new contract. So not only is he, a premier guy, he definitely has a name and a reputation around him, but he wants to show people like, look, I am willing to put in the work, so you guys need to be willing to sign the check.
Right. And I have one more thing to hit on while we're at it. Have you seen the whole thing against the kneeling now being illegal during the national anthem?
Yeah, I definitely know they put in the new rule, and the whole world is split on their opinions on that. Everybody feels one way, a lot of people feel another.
Personally, I don't give a shit what you do. I don't care. That doesn't bother me. Just go catch some footballs and run the ball and fucking kill each other. I don't care about what you do during the national anthem. That's your choice. I don't give a shit. Anywho, it all started because of Colin Kaepernick. And then later on, Eric Reed kind of got in on it too. And both of them now are not on teams. And people say both of them should be on teams. They're both at the caliber level to be playing, and neither of them have gotten contracts or even been asked. Now there is a group of players that are unnamed, however, stated as a few star players have started debating sitting the entire season until Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed are both signed back to an NFL team. When they came out with this, they wanted to have their names remain anonymous. And then when they asked how many people are backed by it, they claimed 25% of the NFL is behind them in the players. So that's 25% of all players throughout the league. Maybe not starters.
They're looking about 400 players.
Probably somewhere in there. I'm not certain how many players are current.
I think there's around 1,600.
So
somewhere around there.
Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting thing that they're literally gonna say, hey, we're not gonna play until these people are back in the game, which kind of makes me think of unionization. How, they're coming together saying, well, if they're not going to play, we're not going to play.
I mean, they have a players.
Yeah, I know, and I think they're really enforcing it kind of well there. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with it. I just think it's an interesting subject.
Yeah, because even the players' union put out a statement saying that the owners voted on it without even addressing the union, and that they were going to overlook it, and if they found anything that they felt to be a discrepancy, that they would basically, there'd be repercussions.
Right.
And, I was actually reading an article, too, on how they talk about, you have this thing going on right now where, even when Colin Kaepernick did it, he first sat on the bench, and then he actually sat down with a veteran and asked, how could I do this, use my platform to protest without being disrespectful to the flag or the country? And he's even the one that suggested, kneeling just like a soldier would do at the grave of a fallen soldier, kneeling and showing respect. But, the whole world isn't going to necessarily agree with the opinion of one veteran.
Right.
Even though, that's what Colin was trying to do when he met with him. But I was reading an article also that said, why doesn't the NBA have this big issue with people protesting and all this stuff like that? And they said one of the big issues is, I guess not long ago, an NBA player got arrested and kind of assaulted. and there was a video of it, and it came out, and I guess the owner of the team came out and said, like, it's still sad to see this kind of thing happen when the only reason he's getting the justice deserved is because he's a millionaire basketball player. If this would have just been some other kid on the street, nothing would have ever been done about this.
All right.
And so, but they said one of the reasons is you have the team comes together and says, you're right, this is an issue, and blah, 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 and they're showing compassion, and they're helping the players use their platform to get that out there. When in the NFL, it seems like they're saying, just shut the fuck up and do what you're paid to do.
Right.
Nobody's showing any type of apathy to the players and how they feel off the field. And you know, that was one thing that me and my girlfriend were talking about the other night, where she talked about in the workplace, in normal people's workplaces, you can't bring that kind of stuff up. So she said the football players need to realize that they are in the workplace, and so it should be similar. But I feel like it's not the same thing. You're not in an office, you're on a nationally televised broadcast.
Right.
But that's enough about the NFL. Let's get to what's happening right now. Stanley Cup playoffs. Game 1 the other night was fucking amazing. 6-4 victory for the Vegas Knights. Goals back and forth the entire time. The game was fucking nuts.
Can we stop and say that I called this?
Oh, I'm pretty sure we both said a while back, Caps Knights gonna be in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's gonna be the finals.
And fucking Knights are gonna do it. Now, I have also said, and you were in the same boat as me, if the Capitals win, I will be so happy for Ovechkin. That motherfucker deserves it. He fucking is just an amazing human being, talented athlete, and definitely deserves it. However, Golden Knights are making history.
Very rarely do I see like a championship where I don't care who wins. Like, normally I'm like for a team and against a team. I choose my side. But on this one, I don't care. I want both teams to win. I want both of them to do it. I want both of them to win. I want the Knights to make history. I want Ovechkin to get his ring. I don't care who wins. Both of them have former Blues players on them, with Oshie being on the Capitals and Reeves and Perron being on the Golden Knights. I want both of them to win. And it's so frustrating to watch, but it's also so exciting because every game I'm happy with the outcome. So it's just a weird spot I'm in watching this playoffs. But let me get into like a little fact real quick. The Capitals, they finished the Lightning with their last 2 games, shutting them out both times with Hope in goal. There was only 2 other goalies to ever finish 2 games in the playoffs with shutouts, coming off a 6 and 7 game victory. So he's only the 3rd person in history to do that, having 2 shutouts in a row on a game 6 and 7, which is remarkable, actually. I'd like to see the stats on how many shots on goal there were, because I know there were a lot, and I know there were so many that were close. I remember watching those games, and I was holding my breath.
And there's been a lot of big plays by goalies this postseason. I don't think there's been a lot of teams where you haven't seen somebody just dropping the ball as much as you've just seen the skaters coming up. There hasn't been a ton of just like bullshit goals. Like, all the goals seem to just really be impressive, hard-earned goals.
I think it was a big shiner to the eye of Hopi as soon as coming off of back-to-back shutouts, and then he gets 5 goals scored on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, fuck.
And I think Fleury even is like, okay, I mean, our guys did it, but I need to not let up 4 goals.
Yeah,
either.
right. I don't say 6 because for those of you who watch the game are going to comment and say it was 6-4. Well, there was no goalie in for that final goal.
Yeah,
just for anyone who goes to correct me. It was a
close fucking game. A lot of times scores don't tell you how close the game really was, but it was an amazing game. Our boy Ryan Reeves scored a goal. STL proud. I'll always be a fan of him. I loved him when he was on the team.
Let's go.
And so I was pretty stoked to see him now score in a second playoff game. Had the game winner last round, and so that was pretty awesome.
He has 4 goals all regular season through 79 games, and he has 2 in the playoffs.
He's stepping up. He wants his ring.
Yeah.
I mean, he earned one last year with the Penguins, correct?
Yeah.
But fuck the Penguins.
Right.
So he needs to earn one with the Knights so he can take that one from the Penguins and just flush it down the fucking toilet.
Right.
Or maybe once they beat Ovechkin, he just skates over and he goes, here, cuz, you can have this one. I don't want it. And then Ovechkin can just like rub his dick all over the Penguins.
Oh yeah, because he did beat the Penguins.
Yeah, they beat him. So then now he's got one of their rings to just be like, fucking beat you bitches. Another thing that was interesting in the game was late in the third period, Tom Wilson puts a big hit on John Marchessault. The hit was a good clean hit, but it was definitely fucking late. He got an interference call. Marchessault even had to enter concussion protocol, but he was fine. He came back to the game later on. Wilson won't be suspended for tonight's game. That was literally a toss-up. He definitely has a reputation of big hits and a hard play.
I think that's the whole reason everything went into such a look-in. I think the hit was completely fair. I think it was an interference. I think that him not being suspended and everything going as it is going is the correct call. I am backing Wilson. I know he's a big hitter and kind of a dirty hitter sometimes, but that's fucking NHL hockey. When you're in the playoffs... What? You're
I
the
disagree.
Other way? Really?
I think he should have gotten a suspension, and here's why. I've watched the play multiple times.
As have I.
He hit a blindsided player. The play was clearly away from Marchessault. If you look at it, Wilson looks at the puck and is actually veering away from Marchessault and then veers back to the left to put the hit on him.
Well,
now, he gets the penalty for that.
Which I believe is all that he should have got.
And if it was like an interference call where he just hit a guy on the open ice, that's one thing. But number one, you blindsided a guy, sent him into concussion protocol, could have hurt one of their big players with a dirty fucking play. You can say it was a good hit, but it was still a dirty fucking play. The hit in itself was all right, but the timing of it and the fact that he easily could have skated away from that.
That's playoff hockey, bud.
But
that's
it's also
why he's
dirty
there
as
on the
fuck.
Caps, though. That's what he does for the Caps. Every time he gets in trouble for a hit, he never gets in trouble with the team. That's what they want him to do.
Yeah, but that's all good and dandy until somebody breaks their fucking neck.
Right, and until he breaks someone's
and then all
neck,
of a sudden,
he'll keep doing it.
And that's one of those things, though. It's well, he didn't get hurt, so literally somebody's career has to be ended, or their playoff chances have to be stripped away because you made a bad play for you to have any negative repercussions.
The dude was
He's already been suspended for 3 games for shit like this. It's one of those things where at some point the guy obviously isn't learning his lesson and eventually will hurt somebody.
Yeah, but there's been multiple players throughout history like that.
And a lot of them have gotten suspended for shit.
Yeah, and so does he.
But now in the Stanley Cup Finals, we're going to allow hits like that.
It was a clean hit. He got his penalty.
It wasn't a clean hit. He got a fucking penalty.
For interference. It was a clean hit, as in there was no injustice on the hit. It was the fact that the guy had already passed his puck and it made an interference call. If he would have just tapped the dude right there, he would have gotten an interference call. So there was nothing wrong with the hit itself.
But you also got to look at the history of the player, in my opinion, too. It's
well,
one
then you're
thing
just
where
being biased on a player.
I think you should. It's one of those things where if it would have been a hit and you would have seen where it was like, fuck, and he got the penalty, and it was one of those things where it wasn't, but it was one of those things where he hit him, and he was even like, oh, what do you fucking mean I get a... He knew what he fucking did.
I agree with that. I do remember seeing him, throw up an arm, which he should not have.
He fucking knows what he did. And that was my biggest thing, is if you actually look at the replay, he's literally coming in on him. Marchessault makes the pass. He's looking at the pass and goes out of his way to put the hit on. It wasn't even just like he's coming in, Marchessault gets the playoff, and then he puts the hit on him, or it was kind of in traffic and he wasn't looking and hit a guy that didn't happen to have the puck. He literally saw the play and wasn't just interference or anything. The fact that it was blindsided, you look at Marchessault's whole head fucking, even if it wasn't a concussion, he could have broken his fucking neck at the angle he hit him at.
Right.
So, but the call's the call and the decision's the decision. I'm not going to sit there and bitch about it or say this is fucking bullshit because of it, or if the Caps win, say that's why they won.
Right.
All I'm saying is you have a guy that clearly has a history of hits that have earned him suspensions, going out of his way to put late hits on blindsided players in the open ice. I understand he got the interference call, and it was a toss-up on the suspension. The hit itself was clean, but the timing and the situation makes it something that I feel like you really got to break down those situations and say, in his mind, do you think it was one of those things where it was worth the risk of him literally saying, I need to try to fucking hurt this guy, or was he really just trying to put a big hit on?
I think he was really just trying to put a big hit on because that's the kind of guy he is. He just happens to hurt people. I think that's how a lot of the big guys are. I don't think anyone goes out on the ice thinking, I'm going to end this guy's career.
I think Ryan Reeves thinks that every time he gets on the ice.
I don't think so. I think he goes...
Not end people's career, but I think he gets on the ice like, I want to hurt somebody right now.
I think he just thinks I'm going to put a big impact hit and get things moving in my direction. And that's what Wilson does.
Yeah, but Reeves gets in lots of fights. I think he wants to,
that's what he does. He enforces people. He gets in there and gets it moving his way, because when Reeves gets in a fight, he fucking wins.
But Reeves
and
is scoring goals right now, too, not putting on dirty hits.
Yeah, and that's true. He's being more, in the game than Wilson, but that's Wilson's big shtick, and I think that's why I'm a fan of the call. If he would have hit him in the head or anything like that, yeah, I would have suspended him, but it's playoff hockey. You're in the finals. It was a clean hit, aside from it being an interference.
And that's one of the reasons they hold off on fights a lot, too, because it's the finals. You don't want somebody getting hurt over a fight and taking them out of the game, but we're going to allow late hits on blindsided players.
Well, they did give him the penalty for it being
and they did, and that's
what I'm saying.
We're just on both sides of the coin, and it literally could have went either way, but I just happen to be on the side where I would have been happy to see the suspension, seeing as he has the history of that kind of stuff. And he even came out and said, he goes, I can't escape what people think of me. It's like, well, that's why fucking people think that of you.
Because that's how he plays the game.
That's how you play the game. Anything else to add to the NHL that is? We got another big game tonight in Vegas. I'm excited to watch it. What do you think tonight?
Tonight, I'm thinking Vegas is going to take it again. I think it's going to be another close game. I'm hoping it's put away closer than it was last time.
Or sooner.
Yeah, sooner.
A little less edge of your seat. Yeah. I like to be on the edge of my seat, but I also like to firmly believe we're going to win and not literally be like, fuck.
Yeah. And if the Caps do win tonight, I wouldn't be surprised and I wouldn't be upset, but I do want to see Vegas win another one at home. I'd like for it to end in Vegas winning it.
That's going to be wild.
That's how I hope it ends, but you don't always get what you want.
Speaking of not always getting what you want, sometimes you just want to have a nice, easy day, kick back, enjoy a beer, maybe a Schlafly, maybe a Summer Lager.
Perhaps, brewed in St. Louis.
But then just some fucking crazy shit happens, and that shit goes viral, gets on the news, and that kind of shit is what we're about to talk about with our wow story of the week.
Wow. 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 Wow.
All right, you want to start this one?
Sure. So for my wow story of the week, it's Snoop Dogg. Did you see what he did?
I didn't see what he did. I actually did see him. Me and the girlfriend watched Straight Outta Compton, so I saw like a young Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm talking about. No. So Snoop Dogg broke broke a world record with the biggest glass of gin and juice. He did this at Bottle Rock Napa Festival in California, and he had a gin and juice that was 132 gallons.
That's fucking nuts.
500 liters. So throughout his concert, they're just sipping on gin and juice, the whole group.
He's got a history of that, because didn't they roll into New York one year and just hand out weed to the
They actually bought out the weed.
They paid New York to disband the law.
Yeah, for a day, or for 8 hours.
That's the ultimate fuck you move, to just be like, I will make you an offer you can't refuse. We literally get to fucking make when your law is not valid.
Yeah. I can't remember how much it said he spent, but it was a lot of money, and he disbanded it for 8 hours. Not only at his concert, at the entire city of New York.
All of New York.
For 8 hours, it was completely legal for everyone to get fucking high. But at his concert, when it happened, they just started handing it out. They had thousands of pounds of weed there that they were just handing out to people.
It's fucking nuts.
But yeah, I think Snoop Dogg could be one of my favorite people on this planet to make a 500-liter gin and juice and just go ham on on stage with a bunch of people. You should see the picture of it. It's fucking beautiful.
We might post one of those pictures on Instagram so you can check it out later.
Or on our Facebook. One or the other. We'll find
maybe both.
Yeah, maybe both.
Fuck it.
We'll find it. We'll post it.
If you're not following us on one of those, I know we're only letting these episodes out to our exclusive friends that are letting us get some feedback before we go public, but definitely follow us on our socials, Instagram and Facebook, whichever one you happen to use more, or both if you use them both. But definitely let us know what kind of content we could post more on there, and we'll definitely start putting links and stuff like that to some of our stuff so you guys can check it out.
And for those of you that we are giving this to, fucking tell your friends about us, please. We need the views.
Yeah, just like let people know about us, and I'm even fine with you guys sharing the link with some of them. And then like tell your friends, be like, yo, my buddies are doing this podcast, check it out, let me know what you think, and then you guys can forward that feedback on to us, because if some random guy's talking shit, I'm gonna fuck him up. But if I hear it from you,
good,
right,
bad, ugly, whatever it is, I don't care. You can tell me we're shit and we're bad, we're still gonna make it. We're gonna find our way to put a spin on it and maybe change your mind. So just anything you can think of that you gotta say to us, just go ahead and say it. Don't be hush-hush about it or try and be nice. Be as upfront as you can, and that's the way we want it.
But if you like it, don't feel bad on stroking our dick for a while, because that's kind of cool, too.
Oh, yeah.
So my wow story is, it was definitely going to be something else, but listening to Heartland Radio today, they totally fucking cucked my story, but that's whatever. And so, did some more digging around. Yeah, fuck you guys. But, I mean, let's, hook us up.
Let's totally talk about getting hired.
Yeah. Come to St. Louis.
Yeah.
And then, so I found another one, and this one was even more wild. So, Southwest Airlines is currently investigating an alleged in-flight masturbator. I found this story on TMZ. Some dude allegedly jerked it while watching some porn on board of the Southwest airline flights. Southwestern, I guess he had a chick sitting next to him who alerted the people and said she had to sit the entire flight from Las Vegas to Philly. Maybe the guy was just leaving the Vegas game and he was just fucking pumped. And he's like, let's fucking go. Just like a victory jerk.
Sounds like a Philly douchebag to me.
Sounds kind of like a scummy thing to do.
Yeah.
And it gets better. The dude kind of is a piece of shit. And so the whole time she's sitting next to this dude who has his iPad out on the little fucking food tray. No earbuds, no nothing, just playing porn, which makes me like, how are more passengers not hearing about this?
She's not giving a good goddamn.
Yeah, maybe he just had it so quiet only she could hear it. But apparently the dude just whipped his dick out and started beating it, jerked off into some napkins, came twice though, good for him.
Yeah.
Jerked it into a napkin and gave it to the fucking cocktail waitress to throw away. And the lady was like, look, there's no way people don't fucking realize what's going on there. So I guess she tweeted about it, and a rep tweeted her back and told her to, like, let the flight attendants know. But she said that she felt it would put her at risk. Maybe she saw this dude, like, beating his dick so hard, she was like, this dude would fuck me up if I say something.
Probably.
Like, if he's gonna abuse his own fucking member like that, he probably wouldn't hold back beating the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And so she was being cautious. But then it gets a little weird, too, because then they're like, well, once the plane lands, tell people. But she didn't do that either. I mean, she kind of did, but what's weird is, like, to me, I would just be like, yo, bro, you want to put your fucking dick away? Like, make a fucking scene about it. Like,
oh, yeah.
What the fuck? And he's going to, like, beat you to death. There's other people on the plane. They're not going to let some dude with his dick swinging around just beat you to death on the plane.
I got two questions. How big of a dick do you have to just start jerking it on a plane confidently?
Like, I just checked this shit
Like, you
out.
think it's just a monster and he was doing it to show off, or do you think he was just a very comfortable dude?
I mean, he felt pretty confident about it because after they landed, she hung around for a while to talk to the flight attendants about it, and she was going to wait till he left. She said he stuck around for a little bit. Finally, he went to leave, petted her on the head and said, hope you enjoyed the show, and walked off the plane.
No shit.
And so he felt like he was doing her a favor.
Oh, my.
Like...
He's real confident.
Yeah, like
he's packing a wrench. That dude had a big dick to be talking like that.
You think this was Nick Foles?
Big Dick Nick over there?
You think he was just going back to Philly?
Oh,
maybe Nick.
Boy.
Maybe Nick Foles
Oh,
headed out to L.A. watch a little hockey, heading back to his Philly scumbag homestead to fucking polish his fucking Super Bowl ring, and he just, fucking whipped that fucking cannon out and just jerked a couple.
This is a bad look.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Little let her kiss the ring on the way out.
Oh, man. What kind of porn do you think he was watching? You think he was, like, solo, or you think he's, like, into, like, some weird BDSM shit?
I don't know. He's kind of weird looking. I bet he is into some. What if he was just watching two eagles fuck?
Ooh. I don't even know. That's just weird. Like bestiality America porn.
But he was just like, I'm an eagle, ride or die. Speaking of Nick, he's going to have a pretty good gig next year just sitting on the bench.
Yeah, until he's needed again in playoff time.
Yeah, he's got so many stipulations in this contract where, like, if he does so much shit, he just gets
Tons of money. He gets paid.
But yeah, apparently somebody from the airline said that they were looking into it, passing it up the chain. And so, yeah, Southwest is now looking into their fucking in-flight masturbator.
The Mile High Masturbation Club?
The Mile High Masturbation Club. And all I'm going to say is somebody might want to check where Nick Foles was, because I'm pretty sure this was Nick Foles.
Yeah. I think we've solved the case already.
I think we have. I'm going to call them after this.
Yeah, we should. I'll call them right now. See if we can get some kind of report.
Well, while you're looking into that, I'm going to say, let's jump into our next segment.
Which one are we going to do? Right now?
Well, considering some of the things that are going on right now, and I feel like our stories kind of correlate this week, let's go ahead and jump into what we would do if we were big dicks and ran the country.
If I was president, I'd get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. If I was president,
All right, Austin, if you were president, how would things go down?
Well, let me just go ahead and start off with saying fuck everyone. If I was president.
Okay.
Get rid of all goddamn speed limits. Okay. There are no more speed limits, no school zones. I don't give a shit. Nothing. You go as fast as you want. You are liable.
The whole country's an autobahn.
Yes, you are liable for you.
Don't give a fuck-a-bon.
The don't give a fuck-a-bon, United States.
Fuck out the way-a-bon.
Yes, right. There's no speed limits. I don't care if you go 100 or 40 on a highway. I don't care if you're going 60 on a back road. I don't care if you're going 50 in a subdivision. But if you hit someone, you get in an accident, you do anything like that, that's all on you.
Are you going to have a minimum speed? Because
no.
If there's no speed limit and people are going 100 and then all of a sudden some bitch is on the highway is like, well, I want to do 5 miles an hour.
Get in a different lane then, bitch.
So people just got to pay the fuck.
Yeah, you pay attention. You are liable for you. If there's somebody ahead of you going
I feel like if there's not a minimum, though, you could just get people that, you can get, like, 5 people across all lanes that are just doing, like, 20, 30 miles an hour.
Then they're fucking the system. That's fine by me.
You're just fine if everybody gets fucked.
Yeah, that's why I started off with fuck you, everybody. Fuck everyone. I don't care. Your speed limit, you're in charge. If there's 5 people in front of you and they're going slow as fuck, do something aggressive. I don't know.
How about this? Guns are allowed on the road, too, so if you are going too slow, out the way, bitch.
No, I'm not doing that because that kind of hurts the whole, like, if you get in an accident or hit someone and kill them, you are extremely liable for hitting those people. Like, if you're going...
Do you have any special lanes, maybe? There's no speed limit, but there's certain lanes which says, like, look... Maybe this lane is reserved for people that are going to move. This lane is reserved for people to go as slow as you want, and the rest of the lanes, figure it out.
Yeah, I could do something like that, like an express lane on the far left side and your fucking slow lane.
A 90-year-old that probably shouldn't be driving.
Right. And in the middle is just,
it's like, I can't, what's happening?
It's just it's a war in there. So yeah, I could do something. I could go for something like that, yeah.
So speed lane.
Where I see it, for people to get pulled over for speeding tickets and stuff, is if you're going too slow in the fast lane, being a problem for people who are going
well,
fast.
And that's why I was saying if all the lanes are the same and you just get a bunch of slow people that happen to get out there and then all the fast people are just fucked.
Right. Yeah, that could be where they pick up on the trafficking tickets, since you're going to lose them all for speeding. Since there's no speeding tickets, now it's the reverse. It's if you're going too slow and being too dangerous.
Well, that's what I said. You could just make a minimum speed that people, if you're on the highway, you got to at least be going.
Well, there already is.
But you can go.
It's 45.
Yeah, but I'm saying if there's no limits, somebody can go 5 miles a fucking hour while some guy going 150 comes up on them and just can't even fucking get out of the way. Where it's probably not even the dude.
New institution. Right now, off the top of the brain, when this comes into effect, it is now mandatory for every car to have a head dash cam in it. So if you run up on somebody going 5 miles an hour and plow into the back of their car, it is their fault for being in the incorrect lane, not obeying by it, unlike if somebody pulls out in front of you and you happen to hit the back of them, it's normally your fault.
So you're just basically going to remove speed limits but have stricter enforcement on how fast you can go in different lanes.
Yes.
Solid.
Yeah. And like on normal streets, it's just, hey, figure it out.
I think you could overlap them too. Like you could be like, this lane is for people to go like fucking 200 to 250, like the super.
Well, if you start
cars.
giving them that many layers, it's going to get confusing, I think, to more people. I'm just saying, do whatever you want. There's a really fast lane, a really slow lane, and in the middle, figure it the fuck out. That's all I want.
Fast, slow, figure it out.
Yep.
Well, if I were president, you know, a lot of people talk about like, oh, you know, you got the supporters of Trump that are like, oh, I like how he speaks his mind and doesn't fucking play no shit. And you got people who are like, well, it's pretty easy to speak your mind when you're fucking stupid as shit and don't have much to say anyway. But I guess I'm kind of like that. I'm not that smart. But if I were president, it would be pretty plain and simple. Just no more bullshit. No fucking around. Just going to be real as shit. You know, not so much with the political thing, but also literally take care of shit as it happens. Like honestly take care of problems. If like Kim Jong-un was like, yo, fucking, we're gonna fucking bomb you guys and blah, blah, blah. Next day, me and SEAL Team 6 would be knocking on that door, be like, hey, cuz, why don't you fucking come out here and say it to our face? And let's fucking go. Let's deal with this shit. And then same thing, though, if like there's a fucking volcano in Hawaii, we'd be like, okay, we need to get people kind of the fuck out of Hawaii.
Let's bring up Flint, Michigan. Still out there without water.
Yeah. They would literally be like, okay, guys, this is what it's going to fucking cost to fix your shit. Yeah, it's going to fucking, like, it costs. That's what people literally don't understand. Like, shit costs money. And that's where I would be like, okay, let's fucking figure it out. Like, I'm not going to say you're going to like the solution, but we're going to figure it out.
Right.
Do you want to pay higher taxes, or do you want to fucking get cancer from drinking your water? If nobody wants to take care of the solution, then Flint, you're fucking stuck with your problem. But if we can sit down and come up with a solution and say, your traffic's gonna be fucked, we gotta tear fucking buildings down to get to these pipes and fix them, and so there's all this shit that's gonna have to take all this money to fix. We're willing to fucking figure it out, but we need to get together, we need to make a fucking plan on how to get it done, and we need to get it done. There's too much, like, fucking around.
Right.
With shit. There's so much like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I know if you're the president, you definitely have all these other things you got to go for. But, like, as a president, it's almost like, and it's hard to say that because you can't give anybody too much power because it would go to most people's heads. But I would be like, it's almost like you need dictatorial power, but like a good, real nice guy.
I had to switch my coils, and these are the ones you used to use. Sorry for that side note. I just caught a glimpse of my eye. But while I'm talking on vape stuff, the vape store in Lake St. Louis, let's go into this ad read abundant. If you're looking for a satisfying vape and some vapor just that you've never had before, and you're looking for a good brand made or brand names,
and the juiciest, most delicious juices you've ever let flow through your lips in an air-type form,
go to the vape store in Lake St. Louis, Missouri. They're having a new store open in O'Fallon off of Mexico Road.
The current store is located on Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Just hang a right ski and exit onto Lake St. Louis Boulevard off Highway 70, cross over the bridge, and it's in the left-hand lane near El Maguey.
There you go.
Vape, 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 vape.
Goofy clouds, bud.
Speaking of goofy, one thing people might think is goofy is all these fucked up stories we hear from time to time. Some might call them a conspiracy theory, but we're big on them, and so that's why we have a segment on them.
Talking about what you would do in crazy situations, I think this crazy situation is a load of fucking shit. The whole Donald Trump, Kim Jong-un being like mortal enemies via Twitter and everything.
And the button wars.
I think it's all a publicity stance.
Okay.
I think it's all huge shenanigans built up between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. They're actually friends. I bet you before he was president, he had talked to them knowing their war was coming to an end, but had like spoken with them like, yo, keep this shit going for a little while when I win presidency and come in and help you guys. Here's some money. We'll help your economies even whenever we get involved. But I want you guys to say that I'm part of the reason why we stopped this war. They all agreed on it, made money, both ends. We're gonna help them, I'm sure, if we're not already in some way. But I think the whole reason was so they could give credit Donald Trump for helping stop the war between North and South Korea. Then Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump having their big beef was just to get the people of America freaking the fuck out like something bad's gonna happen. Then it doesn't. Oh, thank God it doesn't happen. They're gonna sit down and meet.
Such a genius.
They're gonna sit down and meet. Oh, he canceled it. Oh, Donald Trump saying, oh, we'll meet you anytime you want, motherfucker. Oh, it's all just a play. It's all a play. I think it's all a game to get people to like be more engaged in the politics that Donald Trump's just doing, thinking that he's actually being a part of it and doing things, but he's really not. It's
raise the fear and threat level just so once he resolves it, people will be like, look at this situation he just handled.
Yeah. He's making it like top max fear for him to make it a calm situation and cool it down for people, kind of like the Osama bin Laden thing. Like, we had no idea we were going after bin Laden, and they're like, bin Laden's dead. We're like, fuck yeah, Obama.
And so then Trump is just like, this was a huge threat, but I have such a cool head. I have the coolest head around, and we're totally good now.
You know it. Everybody knows it.
This war was huge, and now it's not. And I'm the reason we did that. I'm not going to say that, even though I just did, but people are saying that, so I'm saying that people are saying that.
My good friends over in North Korea,
I mean, I'll nuke his ass, but we're pretty chill now.
So no need. This is the greatest trade deal in history.
They had some amazing food over there. Even though they are coming here, I might go over. Might even build a wall over there.
Who knows? But yeah, I just think it's all a stunt brought up between the multi-leaders to make it a big deal through our economy to have us freaking out. And
do you think it might also be one of those things too that like, I mean, maybe, you know, like Putin is, they're kind of sided with North Korea. South Korea is kind of like on our side and stuff like that. It might be one of those things too where he's trying to like weasel in with Kim Jong-un. So then the whole time Putin's like, yeah, if they fuck with you, you just let us know, we'll jump. And then all of a sudden they're like, yo, why are you cool with them now? And fuck.
Well, Donald Trump and Putin were friends already. Maybe this is a whole...
But at the same time, there's been all this stuff where it's like, we're cool, but then Trump will literally put out tweets where it's like, if you get a fucking problem, I'll bomb you.
Right.
But
that's
cool.
What I'm saying. I think that's the whole thing. It's all a stunt. He, like I said, he's using max fear and threats, so people are like, oh, fuck, things bad are going to happen. But then they never do, and then it's like, oh, he resolved them. He kept a cooler head. He came off as a threatening, overpowered man, but then doesn't do anything.
But then everybody else, like half the people are just like, we just want our kids to be able to cut their dicks and tits off.
Right.
We don't care about Donald Trump.
Right.
He's the worst.
Right.
And it's like, yo, I mean, there's other shit going on besides your kid's dick and tits.
Right. I mean, their pussies are pussies still.
And they're fucking...
Dicks are not pussies.
Their pussies are dicks.
Dicks are the new pussy.
And their titties are dicks. And they got tick-ditty pusses.
Tick-ditty pusses. That's alright.
Well, my conspiracy is something I was thinking of. I wasn't huge on the whole royal wedding ordeal. Didn't look that much into it, but the girlfriend was kind of filling me in on it a little bit. And she was telling me about this Meghan Markle and how, like, when she was 15, she had this picture taken in front of Buckingham Palace. 22 years later, she marries the prince, who she was introduced to on a blind date by her friend. Jesus. You fucking alright there, bud?
Yeah, I'm fucking fine.
So, as I was fucking saying...
Sorry.
I feel like this thing has been a plot in the making. Meghan Markle is a fucking spy assassin that's been brainwashed to kill all the people in the royal family so that America can claim the throne over there. And here's why. So basically, this picture surfaced of Meghan as a young girl posing outside of Buckingham Palace. The photo was taken during her European summer trip in 1996. The picture emerged after her engagement to Prince Harry was celebrated around the world, and she even had a friend, the one that was in the picture with her, that asked her about it, and this is a quote from her. She says, "I'm not shocked at all. It's like she's been planning this all of her life. She gets exactly what she wants, and Harry has fallen for her play. She was always fascinated by the royal family, and she wants to be Princess Diana 2.0. She will play her role ably, but my advice to Prince Harry is to tread cautiously." Now, they were saying this sounds like a jealous friend. This sounds like somebody that really knows this bitch. This bitch was fucking trained by League of Assassin type people and brainwashed like Magatu and Zoolander did to what's his fucking Derek Zoolander, and at some point some little trigger's gonna go off and this Meghan Markle is gonna start making her way through the royal family, just taking people out until eventually she gets to claim the throne, and then something will fucking happen. She'll be replaced with like a lookalike or something, or she'll be told what to do, and America will own the fucking royal throne. Boom!
I just thought of something.
Okay.
Donald Trump's tagline was "Make America Great Again." If he takes Great Britain, he makes America great again.
Great America.
Oh, jeez. Do you think this is all a plan?
If we end up dead after this podcast, share this everywhere.
We figured it out. We cracked the code of Make America Great Again.
So the line to the throne is... I guess Prince Harry is currently fifth in line if you already account for the fact that Prince Charles will succeed Queen Elizabeth II after she dies. If she ever dies. Because that's a whole nother conspiracy theory. Apparently she eats babies to keep her alive because she's like 1,000,000 years old.
Sounds healthy.
Totally makes sense. Prince William is second in line, followed by his two kids, George and Charlotte. William and Kate have 3 babies, or they have a third one on the way, which all of them would come before Harry. And then the only way Harry could become king was if William and all his heirs died.
Let's go.
Highly unlikely, and we hope that never happens, but this little fucking secret spy assassin Electra fucking Derek Zoolander hybrid might have other fucking plans. And Donald Trump, while he's distracting all of us with his bullshit over in North Korea, has this little spy bitch over here ready to make America great again.
I'm all in. 100% full deck on this. I think she's a spy. I think her friend's a spy. I think her friend came out with the article to make people look at her and be like, what a fucking crazy bitch.
If her friend ends up dead, 100% true.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm going to die because I totally just cracked this last night by watching Straight Outta Compton.
And then I'm going to die. So I really hope we're wrong because I'm way too pretty to be dead.
But it would be cool to be like, yo, this guy's a martyr. Donald Trump will have our back.
Probably.
He'll be like, I need you guys to keep your mouths shut, but great job. Love the cast.
Your cast is going to be huge.
Huge.
It's going to be #1.
I'm going to put transmitters on the wall, and everybody, you'll be #1 in Mexico.
I know it. You know it. I have a good friend who's a podcaster. He knows it.
He's the greatest podcaster of all time. Great friends with him.
Oh, fuck.
I guess that leaves us to our final segment, as always, our beer review.
I'm not made for paving long roads. I ain't cut out to climb high-line poles, but I'm pretty good at drinking beer.
Do you, I guess, want to give Brewhouse 109 their shout-out?
Yeah. 109 Brew House in O'Fallon, Missouri, soon to be known as Barrels Bar and Grill, at the corner of Highway K and Highway N. They got 109 beers on tap. They have a brand new Jim Special lager that is manufactured by O'Fallon Brewery, so be sure and go check that out. It is a strawberry wheat beer. They have great food. Everybody's awesome. They got TVs everywhere. They even got TVs in the booth, so if you're taking your family, you can still, sneak that game in and check it out. They got a big room for parties. They got a little arcade area to keep the kids occupied while you're there. Be sure and check them out. They are awesome, good people.
Let them know Austin and Gavin from Inside the Pocket sent you.
They're good friends of ours, and they will definitely take care of you if they know they sent you your way. Some random chick actually got a job there because she knows somebody named Austin and mentioned it to him, and they thought it was our Austin, but it wasn't. And but
now she's my sister.
Now she's our sister and has a job just because she knew somebody with one of our names. But the beer we're going over, brought to you by 109 this week, is a Schlafly Summer Lager, St. Louis Brewery. 4.5% alcohol. It's pretty good. Like I said, I'm not a huge lager guy. It's a bright golden beer, perfect for summertime. The malts they use are a wonderful fresh grain. It's got light blues on the bottle with some yellows, definitely that summertime vibe. It's a little lighter than a lot of the lagers that I've had before.
Definitely.
It definitely has a familiar taste if you've ever had some of the St. Louis style lagers. I'm a fan. I'm not somebody that... I'm actually learning a lot with these beer reviews because I don't really go too far outside of my comfort zone a lot of the times. But this is definitely a beer after this I would probably buy again, or if I saw it on a menu somewhere, would definitely pick it up.
And everybody, just so everybody knows, I've been getting Gavin to drink more outside of his box since I turned 21.
He's actually a terrible influence.
I am the worst. So, anywho, let's talk about the beer more. It does have a nice, vibrant two-tone blue cover. On the top part of the bottleneck of the bottle, it's got a sun where it says summer, just so you know it's a summer ale. It is definitely lighter, as you said, on the lager side. It's really good. It's definitely got a hint of some sort of fruit. I'm actually not 100%. I want to say... there you go. Lemon. It's very good. I would drink this one out like going to the beach or something. Like if I was going somewhere to go swimming or play volleyball for a day, I would definitely pick up a 6-pack of these to enjoy while I was there.
Yeah, I know a lot of people will even go for the Mexican-style beers like a Corona or a Modelo around the summertime and stuff like that. I'm not huge on those beers, but this is definitely, like you said, a summertime one. Dos Equis. This one is definitely, like I said, it's a little thicker like a lager. It's not super heavy. I could probably drink a 6-pack of this somewhere. It would go great with a meal, with some wings or something like that.
I think this would go great with barbecue.
This would be a great
I think the
Sunday
tangy taste of the beer.
Early football season beer.
Yeah.
As it gets a little colder, you might mix it up a little bit, but this would make a great, when you're just chilling with the boys watching some preseason, this would be a nice little fun beer.
It also, just so you know, every single one of these is bottled with love.
Aww.
It says it on the bottle, actually, in the bottom. But as I was saying, I would put this a lot with barbecue. If you have like a tangy barbecue sauce with the zestiness of the lemon that's in the beer, I think they would be a good complement to each other. You'd have the zestiness in your beer and the barbecue, like on a rack of ribs, being more tangy. I think they'd complement each other very well.
Yeah, or like I said, with the lemony flavor, even if you did it with some sort of salsa or a Mexican style meal, would definitely go good with that. But that is our beer review. Like I said, Summer Lager, Schlafly, a St. Louis Brewing Company beer. We hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. As always, share it with some of your friends. Before long, preseason's going to be here. We're going to be public. So any additional feedback you guys got for us, be sure and fucking hit us with it, good or bad. And we will see you guys next time.
Yeet!
Inside the pocket of a clown.